Hey there guys, it's Cycle Red here, and I wanted to give you guys just a little bit of information about the iPhone 7 and actually 7 reasons why not to update to the iPhone 7. Now, I will be also continuing this video with another one with 7 reasons why you should buy the iPhone 7. Now, this isn't the iPhone 7. We still do not have a confirmation of what it actually looks like. All we have are actual just rumor pictures of it. So I wanted to give kind of 7 reasons why I believe we shouldn't even invest our money into the iPhone 7 and why it's not going to be a good buy for the public. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alrighty, so first things first on the list. So number 1 on the list is design. Now, if you notice, the iPhone 7 and the renderings that people have come up with aren't necessarily different from the iPhone 6 or 6S. If you actually have an iPhone 5 or 4, then it might make sense for you to upgrade to the bigger phone. But honestly, when you have an iPhone 6 or 6S, which most people do nowadays, you will notice that even with the iPhone 7, you won't see that much of a difference. I mean, there is talk about the headphone jack being removed, and that's going to be one of my other reasons why not to buy. But for at least for the size and for what they're coming at us with, there's nothing really too crazy or too monumental. Like when we upgraded from the 3GS to the 4, having that glass case and just a harder shell of a body versus that plastic covering was just, it was just more monumental. Or even going from the 4 to the 5 and the 5 to the 6, there's always something bigger and always something better with the new phone. This one, it doesn't seem like there's much going on with the actual size. Alrighty, and for number 2, the second reason why you shouldn't update or actually upgrade to the iPhone 7 is because of your carrier. And most people right now are within a 2-year contract or within a certain contract with at&t, Sprint, Verizon, or T-Mobile. For myself with Verizon, if you do have a Verizon account, I can speak to most of you guys. But if you have their upgrade plan, what they allow you to do is they allow you to upgrade your phone when you've paid off 50% of your phone. And if you haven't done so already, then you're actually unable to upgrade, and then you end up having to pay extra money for the phone afterwards. So it actually they're actually taking more money out of your pocket. I mean, yes, you can turn in your phone and you will get a trade-in credit, but that goes mostly towards the new phone. If you have other carriers, your other carriers may be the same. I'm not entirely sure about what Sprint and at&t and T-Mobile are up to, if they will have iPhone 7 plans. But if you're already locked into a plan, honestly, who wouldn't want to keep their phone after they've used it for so long? Actually, you grow with so much memories with your phone and taking pictures and taking it places. Like, why would you want to give it back to one of these companies when you can keep it after you've completely paid it off? All right, and my third reason on why not to buy the iPhone 7 is, honestly, they're going to come out with an iPhone 7S probably the year right after. And if you've noticed, every single year they've come out with an iPhone, 4, 5, 6, or even actually the 3GS, the 4, the 5, the 6. There's always been some sort of issue and problem with each and every single one. If you can't remember, let me refresh your memory. With the 3GS, the back of the 3GS would crack from time to time, and it wasn't really a sturdy phone. The 4, also the same thing, the back would crack, and also if you held it, if you remember, I actually don't even have my phone on me right now, but I'm using it for the camera, but if you held the actual 4, the antennas would cause a as your hand would grip the phone, it would actually cover the antennas of the phone, so the phone wouldn't be able to, actually you would get some dropped calls from time to time, and you would lose cell service. And that's what they ended up remedying in the iPhone 4S. Now, the iPhone 5, the problem with that one was the home button at the very top, because remember, they relocated the home button, or the on and off button, the hold button I should say, on the top of the phone versus on the side of it. And because of that, you would also get into some some sticky situations where that hold button would get lodged in, and you wouldn't be. I've noticed for some people, even for myself, that home button or that hold button, excuse me, I'm mixing those two up, would actually get jammed. So that was the problem with the 5 that they ended up fixing with the 5S, also with the speed. Now with the 6, everybody remembers it was able to bend, and there has been so many videos, countless videos of people uploading their iPhone 6 bending, and it was the worst thing that they ended up fixing in the 6S. And with the 6S, there wasn't any sort of problems with that. They used a harder body so that people couldn't bend the phone so easily. So with every major phone, every 4, 5, 6, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, there is going to be some sort of issues with the iPhone 7. We don't know yet, but there is talk that the iPhone 7 will be slimmer and that it will be thinner than the iPhone 6S, which isn't so much a problem, but we might just go back into that territory where the actual, the body of the phone can bend. So that's not good. So wait for the 6 or the 7S, like some people waited for the 5S or the 6S. I personally went from the 5 to the 6 to the 6S, and realizing that the 6S was faster in speed, the body didn't bend. If you notice, even for the 5S was faster. You had the Touch ID that was installed on there. There's a lot of new things and a lot of new features that come out with the S models that they really fix, and they fix out really all the kinks that would be hindering a lot of people in the earlier versions. So that's my third reason why you shouldn't buy an iPhone 7. Alrighty guys, so my fourth reason on why we shouldn't buy an iPhone 7 is memory options and also pricing options. I'm going to do a little 2-for-1 here. Now with the memory is not a bad thing, and don't get me wrong, that is never a bad thing to complain about. But what happens when you upgrade the memory? You also upgrade the price within a phone. And with the iPhone 7, there is rumors, and it's not very concrete until Apple really puts a statement out there, but the iPhone will start selling at 32 gigabytes. From 32 gigabytes, that's the base model instead of 16, which is great. The second model, that's a step up from there, is going to be with 128 gigs. And then from there, you have 256 gigs. That's going to be with on the phone. Now, I find it very hard to believe that Apple will be upgrading these phones to 256 gigs. If they do, that's great, don't get me wrong. But what happens when you get a phone with that much memory that's brand new? Your pricing becomes a little bit high. So with phones that have that sort of memory, just be aware that the pricing could get over $1,000 for this phone, and you're reaching into a territory where it's going to get pretty expensive to afford 256 gigs. And if you can fill up that phone with 250 gigs of memory of apps and games and music and photos and whatever, then seriously, that's a lot of memory for one phone. And I don't think Apple is just ready to jump into that territory just yet. I honestly still think that we will have a 16 gig model, and then a 64, and then a 128. Honestly, that's my personal opinion, but who knows? We haven't had anything concrete from Apple. We'll have to wait and see until they actually make the release. Alright guys, fifth reason why you shouldn't buy the iPhone 7 is, honestly, and I explained it within I believe my third reason why, was just the size of the iPhone 7, and that is the ability to it's actually going to be a little bit thinner than what we have right now if you have a 6S. The reason why, honestly, I don't believe that is a great reason to buy the iPhone 7 just because if it's thinner, is because honestly, when we had a thinner phone before, you were able to bend it. And that's just how simple it is. You were able to bend your iPhone, and that wasn't a good thing. You couldn't put your phone into the back pocket of your pants and sit in your car, or even put it in the front of your pocket and sit in your car without it sort of bending. And then when you would set it on a table, you would notice there is some sort of dip within the phone. So honestly, for them going back into a thinner type model, I really hope that Apple brings us a product that has a metal that won't react to pressure so easily. and it would be great if they would just give us something that was very solid and very, very firm with its grip, and you're able to hold the phone without it, shattering it in your hands. I believe us as consumers, we shouldn't have to put so many screen protectors on our cell phones and have to worry about our phone breaking and shattering and busting into a million pieces if we drop it. It should have that sort of authentic just power behind it, that this thing is just durable. All right guys, so for the 6th reason why you shouldn't buy the iPhone 7, and honestly I think this is just for a business strategy, this is brilliant, but for a consumer who is looking for a new iPhone, this is just going to be ridiculous. And this is the absence of a headphone jack. So there's tons of renderings, tons of pictures, and tons of photos out there that show the iPhone that has 2 speakers on the bottom but that has no headphone jack, and that we will now be using the actual lightning port within the phone as a headphone jack. Honestly, I don't believe that this is going to be a great idea, and I think this is actually going to be a really bad idea upon Apple. There are pros and cons to it, but I'm going to only speak on the cons. I'll probably speak on the pros about it in my later video about it. But the reason why I don't think this is a great idea is because when you take away the person's ability to use the headphone jack, you have to then use different headphones. To use different headphones, you have to sell newer headphones with either attachments, or Apple will at least give us headphones that are wireless. I don't think that they're in the business to be giving out wireless headphones to everybody who buys an iPhone. What I think will probably happen is you'll receive the same set of headphones, but you'll have to buy an adapter to the phone so you can actually use them. I hope that really isn't the case, but there is talk where you would have a device that would plug into the actual lightning port, and then from there you can actually plug in your headphones from there. And then if you do have wireless headphones, of course you can sync them up to your phone via Bluetooth. But I really hope that that's not a case, and if it is, that's going to be such a downer for people, and I'm sure they're going to charge $100 just for the adapter, and then you have to then you can actually start listening to music on your phone. So I really hope that isn't the case. If they do get rid of the headphone jack, I do hope that they allow, or they actually manufacture headphones that are wireless. That way you can use them on your device without any sort of adapters or having to shell out extra money for different parts on your phone. Alrighty guys, last but not least, for my 7th reason on why not to buy the iPhone 7 is, honestly, there isn't going to be that much new on it. If all the rumors are true, and if everything is set out in stone already, which I really doubt it is, because every single year people come out with rumors, and almost half of them are never true. Some of them are just fantasized. I don't think that this iPhone is going to be any different from the iPhone 6s. There's been rumors of dual lens cameras, cameras that have a better backing to them, where the actual back of the iPhone rounds out the camera. The talk of the headphone jack, the talk of 3 different models, iPhone 7 Plus model, or you can call it a Pro model, the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 mini. If every single rumor that was true, that was out there, I've heard rumors where the iPhone 7 is going to be curved, and that they're going to get rid of the top sensor bar, and it's going to go down to the right hand side. Stuff like that, something like as small as that, moving this down would be ideal and would be not an issue. But if every single rumor were to be true, which I doubt it is, I really do, then I don't believe. Then I if every single one were true, then yeah, the iPhone 7 would be amazing. It'd be great. It would be the product of everybody's dreams because everybody concocted it. So I don't think that's the case. I think we're gonna find Apple still at the tail end of the phone spectrum here, and I don't think that we're gonna get everything that we want here. what I think is going to happen is they're going to shell out the iPhone 7, and then the iPhone 7s, or whatever they're going to call it later on, is going to be the one to get, and that's going to be the one that everybody should save up for and wait till it comes out. So that's my 7 reasons on why you should not buy the iPhone 7, why you should just wait. And I don't want to deter anybody away from buying Apple products. If you do enjoy upgrading your phone to the latest version, that's always great. Don't get me wrong. If I could, I would buy an iPhone 7, and I'd be able to show it off to you guys and do reviews about it. But I honestly think for myself, I don't think I will be getting one. I'm satisfied with old reliable here. My iPhone 6s is still working properly. It's great. Hasn't been any sort of issues or problems with it. I really don't see that there is a need for another iPhone 7. My phone does what it needs to do. It texts, it calls, it saves photos, it allows me to play some games here and there, and it just gets the job done, honestly. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what a phone is about. It's about doing those simple tasks that you need to effectively. And just all the little quirks and everything about it, it's all great and everything, but at the end of the day, I still need my phone to be able to do what it needs to do. So that's my 7 reasons on why not to buy the iPhone 7. I will follow up with a video on why you should buy the iPhone 7, so stay tuned for that. And for all things Apple Plus, this is Psycho Red signing off. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace.